Alright, boys, so it was summer 327 BC when the army of Alexander the Great invaded India after taking over all of Asia Minor. That's kind of the vibe that we're going for this summer, an Alexandrian summer. And for that, I say fasting, high rep calisthenics are going to be the key to lean out, to lock in for the summer. We have exactly 80 days to go. 80 or 60, I think we have exactly 60 days to go actually. I don't know why I think my script is wrong. We have not that many days to go, all right? From now on when this video comes out until June 21st when summer begins. So we have to prepare ourselves. In this video, I want to talk about everything that I'm going to do to prepare myself for the summer, to have an epic summer, to have an Alexandrian summer, balls deep in life, just conquering everything on my way, okay? I know, it sounds really cool. I'm gonna tell you guys how to do it. So before we begin, some credibility over the last year, I've lost over 20 pounds with fasting, okay? Something I like to call hybrid fasting, so it's a mix between OMAD, 1 meal a day, with more chill fasting scheme over the weekend when I could have like 1-2 meals, meal and a snack, and I can chill, have a beer with the boys, and I don't have to care too much about what I'm eating, right? The mechanisms don't really matter. What matters is the following. I don't see enough people talking about this. We don't have that much time left, okay? If you are visibly fat, right? If you're a fat fucker like I was last year, with all due respect, everyone's been there, man. It's part of the process. You don't have to feel ashamed because of that. If you have to have like 20, 30 pounds that you have to lose. If you're over like 20% body fat, let me tell you, man, I hate to be this guy, but you're probably not getting a Greek god body in like 40 days, okay? I know a lot of influencers are going to show you the math. They're like, oh, you have to lose X amount of weight, so you have to do X amount of calorie deficit. That's nice and sweet, but if you could do it that easily and follow it that easily, you would have probably done it by now. You wouldn't be watching this video, okay? So here's the thing. We gotta be realistic, okay? You can lose a lot of weight. Yes, that's for sure. You can lose like a ton of weight, man, until the summer. But I'm not gonna sit here and say you're going to look like a Greek god. You're gonna have a six-pack on the beach. That, depending on where you're starting, we have to be realistic, okay? Depending on where you're starting, your actual full transformation process, man, might be something that's gonna be 1-2 years down the line, all right? And that's just how it works. And the reason for that is really simple. Not because I'm an asshole, not because I think you're stupid and you don't have the discipline, the self, and the drive to actually do it. I don't think any of that, okay? For the longest time, I had this really strong drive that I really wanted to lose weight, and I just kept failing over and over and over and over, okay? Because sometimes, 100% of the times, the weight loss is just a consequence of a mental process. So what you actually need is not, the actual transformation doesn't happen in your body, it happens in your mind, in your relationship with food, your relationship to yourself, your past traumas, the way that you use food to cope with the uncomfortable things in your life that you don't want to deal with. So it's a very complex, big, complicated thing. Lower down the expectations that you're going to look like a pre-competition bodybuilder by summer. Otherwise, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to start doing the thing. You're not going to see the progress that you thought you were going to have. And you're going to give up, okay? That's a very important thing. Now, fasting. Why do I think fasting is the key? Because, again, we don't have that much time. I think you should be fasting year-round. I think fasting is something essential, especially if you're a man. You should be fasting, right? Fasting was seen, for example, by the fathers of the desert, the first Christians, right? Fasting was seen as this spiritual discipline. It is something that you had to do. You had to fast as much as you had to eat. You had to fast as much as you had a need for sex. All those things are important, right? It's a balance of two things. When you look at the, for example, the astrology. Let's talk about astrology. The astrological symbolisms, right? You have Mars and you have Venus. Those two things are the two ends of the same spectrum. Or if you want to talk about archetypes, well, Jungian archetypes, that book, you have that book. I'm not going to pull it from here. The King, Lover, Magician, Warrior. You have the lover and you have the warrior. the Venus and Mars. Those two are opposites, and those two are very, very important. At the same time, you need to have the effort, you need to have the discipline, you need to have the pushing through uncomfortable things and suffering the pain of transformation, but you also need the rest, and you need the recovery, and you need the joys, and you need to indulge in the pleasure of the world, but not like, not in a sinful way, but you have to indulge and to remind yourself that the world is good and that there's a lot of things that are delicious in the world. So those two things are fucking important, right? You should be fasting year round, but now especially, you have to really lock in on that fast, okay? Today, I weighed myself. I hit the lowest weight I've had probably since 2021, okay? It's a big milestone. I hit 94 kilograms. For those that have normal numbers, for those that don't have normal numbers, it's about 200 and something little pounds, okay? I came down from 230 last year to 200. So it's a big accomplishment for me. And I'm still not even close to being done. I want to lose closer to 10 pounds before the summer begins, but I'm me, you're not me. I'm used to this, okay? So you should be fasting, man. Fast more. I'm talking about one meal a day during the week. Why is that? Because it creates a big, big, big calorie deficit. Don't start bitching about it, okay? Don't start bitching about losing your muscle. You're not gonna magically, melt all the muscle in your body if you keep working out. You gotta keep working out. You're not gonna melt all the muscle in your body because you're eating once a day, okay? Your ancestors were probably eating maybe even less than once a day, and they were fucking hunting animals that were 3 times their size, 20 times their fucking size, and taking that shit home and having like 10 babies. So you're not as fragile as you think you are, okay? You're not gonna lose all your muscle. You're not gonna die, okay? Walk around with an apple if that really fucking scares you. Whenever you think you're going to die, you have an apple, okay? All right? This is key, right? 0 calorie drinks. Those are good, man. What else? Calisthenics. Why high rep calisthenics? Why not just hit the weights? I do both. I hit the weights and I do high rep calisthenics. I love doing both. I've been returning more and more to calisthenics, and I think I don't know what's up with it, man. I don't know what's up about calisthenics. I don't know what happened with it that's different than weights. I think that calisthenics, especially that high rep, half wrapping calisthenics that kind of inmates do, it builds you a very specific look. You get a very specific look out of it. You kind of look like a warrior. You look like you just came out of a Roman legion's ranks. You know what I mean? You're just ready for battle. I don't know what's up with it. I can't explain it, but it's just always, all my life, when I wanted to get my chest looking a little bit nicer, when I wanted to to get my legs bigger, to get my legs more defined and strong, and I always found myself going back to calisthenics, and then never disappointed me. Hit the push-ups, hit the pull-ups, hit the dips, hit the bodyweight squats, high volume, high reps, shorter range of motion to really keep the tension in the muscle. You guys know how that shit works at this point, okay? Everyone's talking about it. I don't know what's up with it, right? I don't know what's up with it, but it kind of works and it kind of gives you a cool look. One mistake, when you start fasting, when you start doing that shit, you're going to get some weird cravings, okay? You're going to get to the end of the day, and you're going to be cooking your meal. You're going to be cooking a pasta or whatever you're going to be cooking. I don't care. I eat pasta and homemade pizza every single day. I just love it. I just like doing it, all right? And it is a very strong thing that your body's going to start craving for fatty things. Fatty things, when we think about, again, let's go back to that, have that medieval man, that, ancient man look of the world. Everything is symbolical. Everything is a connection to something higher, to something different, to something that transcends matter. So when we look at fat is all blessings from nature. Think about butter. Yeah, those things they're delicious. They melt in your mouth. They just, it's like they hug you from the inside. Butter. Think about buttery, buttery steak. Think about, that buttery popcorn you have on the movies. Think about olive oil with a little bit of bread. It's like, man, those things, they are blessings from nature. Just like the honey, milk. They're fatty things that people back in the day used to see as blessings from nature. And when you start fasting, you kind of, I don't know if you start returning to a more primeval, more medieval way of looking at things and cravings, but you start craving those fatty things. It's really important that you put down the bottle of olive oil when you're cooking. Put that shit down. Put a little spoon, because otherwise you put a little bit more than a spoon and boom, 400 extra calories. Okay, that was a big mistake. That was something that made me stuck on the same weight, on the same, little range for months on end. I could have lost maybe 40 pounds instead of 20 if it wasn't for that fucking olive oil, which I absolutely love. All right, so be very, very, very careful with that, man. Something that you also have to be very, very careful is with the weekends. Okay, it's getting warmer. People are starting to go out. Your friends are starting to call you out to do shit. It's very important that you go. Okay? It's important that you go and you start going out and doing shit. Something I've been doing every Saturday now that it's warmer is that I've been going to the park near my house to have my workout outdoors. Have the workout outdoors, have some sun in your skin. Good shit, okay? But gotta be careful. Because on the weekends, you have a tendency to get bored and to eat because you're bored and not because you're hungry. You're used to the fast. You're used to being hungry. You're used to this pleasurable feeling that you're empty, that you're light, that you're, sharp, that you can, just bam, bam, bam. You know what I mean? It's very important that you don't eat because you're bored. And that's going to happen, I'm telling you. If you're not used to it, that's going to happen. It's normal. Don't get too hung on it. Just, acknowledge it, move on. Go for the next one, all right? So those are my tips, man. Let's have a fantastic summer. Fantastic summer. Alexander the Great, just like ravaging the land with his boys, just taking over everything, creating his empire. That's the that's the vibe. That's the thing that we want to incorporate, right? Can you imagine Alexander the Great being kind of down because he got heartbroken? Can you imagine Alexander the Great? Oh, woke up and I feel a little bit depressed. I'm not gonna go to battle. It's like, no, fuck that. Let's go. Let's get it. Have a little bit of honey, boys. Let's go get it. Okay. So that's the vibe that we're going for, and that's what I want you all to aim for. Okay. So keep an eye here on the description because I might launch something soon that I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna look like. But I see you all next time. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed weekend. Cheers.